Hi Libra, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your July 2023 new moon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the YouTube algorithm see my channel, and it helps it grow, so thank you so very much for doing so. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. This cleanse and meditation will be accompanied by a loud sound. So let's take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. So let's see the energy we need to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. Here we have the Ace of Pentacles. Now, the Ace of Pentacles is us coming out of hibernation to really embrace some sort of bounty in our lives. It's either financial or what we value as much as money. And Spirit's saying here, be very mindful because we're going to have opportunities come our way that kind of sound too good to be true. We have to look at them more deeply because once we look at it more deeply, it's like, oh, this isn't right for me, or this isn't what I had originally thought it would be. So just be aware of that during this time, that there are going to be opportunities that come our way that can be very enticing. They're just not going to be right for us. Let's see what Spirit has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. And this is luminous. This time is going to be astoundingly important. We're going to find that this new moon, even though it's not luminous, right? The moon doesn't have any light to it at all. We're going to find that it illuminates a lot for us inwardly, personally, spiritually. It starts to really open up doors. So let's see what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Can you see it all? I hope so. Okay. All right. So let's talk about this time, astrologically speaking. Now, before actually we dive into the astrology of it, if you're looking just for a yes or no answer, the answer here is yes. So that's going to be a big deal. You're also taking a gift. That's why Spirit is saying here, don't jump at everything that comes your way. There's going to be a gift. It comes through healing that is going to really open up doors for you and really move you forward in a way that you hadn't expected. You're a little bit off your game right now, Libra. And this does make sense astrologically speaking, and we'll get into this in just a moment. So, this new moon in Cancer on the 17th of July is at 24 degrees, 56 seconds of Cancer, and it is a very powerful new moon. Cancer is a very powerful sign. It is a very sensitive sign. It is kind and empathetic and nurturing, and it really brings forward mothering energy, which is very interesting because we don't have to be a mother to be a Cancer, right? We don't have to want to be one to be a Cancer or even can be one. So, what this energy brings forward, and why I always looked at Cancer and thought, it's so interesting, is that I was listening to this rabbi, and he was talking about the zodiac signs, which I thought was just awesome. And what he said here is that Cancer is represented by the crab. But when we think of Cancer in our modern world, we think of the disease and not the crab. So it is something that is a little bit fearful, right? And the transformation that happens to a person's body when they become pregnant can be fearful, and it's intense, just like the transformation of the crab, right? The skeleton on the crab is on the outside. It's the exoskeleton. And so when the crab grows, it transforms. It's a painful transformation. And that's what Cancer brings us. It brings us a painful but necessary transformation and growth. And so this is going to be a time where, the sun is in Cancer, the moon is in Cancer, we're looking at things, we're transforming, we're growing, and it's pushing us out of our comfort zone. It's pushing us out of where, we were comfortable being, we wanted to be. And this is also played a part because Pluto is squared the nodal axis. Now, the nodal axis moves backwards from 29 degrees to 0, which I think is pretty cool. And on the 17th of July, our collective destiny, our collective karma is changing. The North lunar node moves from Taurus to Aries. That's our sister sign, right? And the South lunar node moves from Scorpio to Libra. That's us. And it throws us off our game. So just being aware of that, the South lunar node is seen as the tail of the dragon. So it balances us. So the Libra energy is balancing us. And yet we're not fully embracing this Libra energy, which is us. We're not fully embracing us during this time. It makes sense because we're moving from being very people pleasing to being much more confident, but also much more independent, authoritative within our own lives. And Libra is an energy that likes to be with others. Aries is an energy that likes to be by itself. It likes to do things independently. This is going to be a time where we're moving towards collective love. It doesn't mean that we have to be in multiple relationships or that our romantic love has to be with multiple people. What it means is that we're really embracing love over fear, or embracing compassion over, coldness. And this is going to be moving us forward, but we're having a hard time stepping into the pure essence of our energy, which is interesting. It's just very interesting to me that we as Libras are having a hard time stepping into our own energy of self. We're feeling a little bit off balance. And that makes sense because sister signs can bring out the best or the worst within us. So when we have this Aries energy coming forward, it's the head of the dragon. It's leading us, it's hunting, it's showing us what we need. The tail of the dragon, which is us, is keeping us balanced, but we're trying to come into harmony. So being aware of that is super important. This also marks the cardinal grand cross, which is 29 degrees Capricorn, 29 degrees Aries, equally 29 degrees Libra. So again, our energy is coming through really strong, and it is 25 degrees of Cancer. This brings extreme power, and it's an extremely powerful configuration. It leads us towards action. We're going to see this as a time, doors open. We start to look at things very differently. We're moving towards action and taking control of situations. Now, we also have Jupiter squared Mercury, which brings big ideas, visionary energy into focus, and we're going to see that within ourselves. We're also going to see the shift from Taurus energy, which we were actually a lot more comfortable in, to Aries energy, to be something that kind of, it throws us a bit because we have that strong earth sign energy. Earth sign energy is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So being aware of this is going to be very important. Neptune is trine the sun and the moon, and this means everything needs to have a spiritual meaning. It's seen as the spiritual context of Neptune, right? We need to see things in a spiritual way. That's just going to be where we as a race, as people, we're going to need to have that context, that spiritual context, that connection to something greater. Now, the King of Pentacles, prosperity, success, bounty, abundance. It's seeing the way that things are interrelated. It's interesting that we have a gift that we're going to need to be mindful of, and that isn't really a gift. We're coming out of hibernation, or we're coming out, of being more insular. And we're going to find that something is presented to us and it sounds like a good idea. It's just not going to be right for us. So being aware of that is going to be astoundingly important. We're crowned with a very down to earth energy during this time, very stabilizing, very secure, very much, okay, I know the way that I want to move forward. We're seeing things interconnected. We're thinking about things and we can think rather quickly, but we're going to see, oh, okay, I need this, or oh, okay, I want to look at that. And we're looking at things in a much bigger way, in a much broader way. It brings us to the Two of Wands. And the Two of Wands is opening up a door. Now, this has us looking at the future, which plays into the Jupiter squared Mercury energy of visionary energy, insightful energy. We're looking towards the future. We can get very caught up in the future, very overly concerned about the future. So just be mindful about this, that we still are living in the present and we're not overpowered by the future. So being aware of this is going to be very important. The Two of Wands is also doors opening to us. We're seeing things in new ways, in different ways. We're having new ideas come forward. It brings us to our own energy, which is Libra. Well, okay, which is justice. And this, of course, represents Libra in the major arcana. So this is the essence of us. It's reversed. We're not necessarily feeling that things are just or that things are fair. And here's the thing with the world, it's not always just and it's not always fair, and it doesn't have to be. We tend to think that things should work out like they do in childhood stories where good conquers evil and everything works out, relatively well at the end. And sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes life is desperately unfair. And an acknowledgement of that is going to be important because that is one of the hardest things that we as Libras come to understand. And it's like, oh, okay, this isn't fair and I can't make it fair. And so here, this is being out of balance with that energy, but we're coming back into balance. We're going to have a healing, a coming together of our sacred masculine, sacred feminine energy, how I need to move forward, what's important to me, what do I love, what do I need, what is guiding me in this world, and how are the doors opening. That's going to be very important. We're having a healing of ourselves. We're going to want to make everything perfect for everyone. That's just going to set us up for failure. Be aware of this. We need to look at what we want within our lives. And we need to look right now, one thing we want to plant and we want to nurture. And that's going to be the thing that we need to put our time and effort into. And then we can move on to more. So being aware of this is going to be very important. Justice reversed is us just looking at things and saying it's not right. And it isn't. But we can't put upon our shoulders making everything just for everybody. We need to look at having things fair for us, being fair, being compassionate people, and then moving on. Because we're weighing ourselves down way too much. We're putting way too much on our shoulders. It's not caring. We do absolutely care, but it is being kinder to ourselves with our expectations. The Two of Cups, the repeat of the number two, we're not doing things alone, which is really important. That's also really important to Libra energy. Libra energy doesn't like to be alone. It likes to be paired. And we're going to see here that we're moving forward towards love, towards healing, towards a balancing of our energy, towards looking at what we really want, what we really need. How do I need to move forward for me? What's important for me? What isn't important for me? How am I looking at the bigger picture? And there's a sense of an exhale. It's going to be so important to breathe out. It is going to be so important to focus on your breath and to release negative energy. It brings us to the Ace of Pentacles. God, Source, Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, is handing us a gift of prosperity, wealth, what we value as much as money. It will be opening up the doors for us. These are seeds to be planted. These are ideas to be had. We're going to see ourselves moving forward in a way that is surprising to us. It's going to be off the beaten track from what we had initially thought we would do. And as we see ourselves moving forward, we're going to see ourselves embracing our strengths, embracing our inner power, looking at things more openly, more honestly for ourselves. And it leads us to this place of feeling blessed, of feeling beautiful. There's going to be this sense of when I look in the mirror, I like what I see. There's a sense of feeling beautiful within ourselves. That's also very important to a Libra. And I know somebody's sitting here and saying, oh my gosh, that's so vain. But it's important. it's important. And sometimes the vain things are important to feel good about the way that we're presenting ourselves, to the world. Feeling confident is powerful. Now, the the sun is the happiest card in the whole entire deck. There's something here that is going to be illuminated. The sun and the moon, because they are both in Cancer, because they are so intertwined with each other during a new moon, we're going to see that we're carrying our intentions. Not only are we setting them at night, but we are carrying our intentions into the brightness of the day. And we're kind of haloing ourselves with it. It's going to be that guiding force, that sense of luminousness that follows us, that blesses us, that moves us forward. We're looking at things, and we can have a tendency during this time, even though we have so many blessings coming forward and embracing us with the Five of Cups, we can have a tendency to really overthink things, look at things that aren't going right, be super harsh on ourselves, be super negative. All the blessings, we can just kind of throw it out the window. We're not feeling 100%. And so when we say, I'm not feeling 100%, I'm feeling overwhelmed, all of a sudden, we're going to be embracing that overwhelmed energy and really letting it move us forward in a way that drags us down, that holds us down, and that keeps us looking at things that we really need to let go of. We really need to release from our consciousness, our soul, and ourselves. So just be aware of this. This is change your mind, change your life. And that's a very powerful thing. With the Five of Swords, we're facing a hardship, an upset, a negativity that we have faced before. And we're going to be looking at things in such a different way. We're going to be seeing ourselves move forward. We're going to be seeing ourselves, gaining ferocity of spirit, ferocity of soul, independence, determination. But it comes as we're facing a hardship that made us doubt ourselves, made us feel overwhelmed, made us think, oh no, I can't possibly. And now we're going to say, yes, I can. But it's going to come from being put in a situation that when we're first there, we're like, man, do I want to run? Do I not want to be doing this? Am I just completely and utterly overwhelmed? So be aware of that feeling coming through very strongly. And then there's a sense of, okay, I'm already feeling kind of off my game. I'm not 100% within myself, even though doors are opening, even though I'm healing, even though prosperity is coming my way, I'm blessed. It's like, yeah, but everything isn't perfect. So I'm just not going to be doing this. So just know that we're going to want things to be 110%, and they're not going to be that way. The blessings come in, they're beautiful, they're powerful, they're purposeful to us, but it's not 110% all the time. And we have to be respectful of that. And we have to say, okay, it's not perfect, but life isn't perfect. And I get to move forward in the power of me. So let's see. We're taking this gift. I mean, my gosh, are we successful? Are we powerful? We're embracing like the essence of the heart chakra. Okay, with red. Red is also the color of our root chakra, the root of us. And so I love the idea that the root is also our heart. And we're looking at what grounds us, what moves us forward. And that is what we love. And the power of love is going to be intensely beautiful. Let's see what Spirit has to say through the moon, or what the moon has to say for herself. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. And guide this reading. Ooh. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. So it's really interesting here is that we're extremely powerful in creation. And remember, Taurus energy is extremely good at manifestation. And we're very comfortable in that energy, even though it's shifting from Taurus to Aries. We're going to be very comfortable in the act of manifestation. We also have to be very mindful that our thoughts are astoundingly powerful. So we're going to be creating, but we're going to have a hard time stepping out of our comfort zone, which makes perfect sense with this new moon. This new moon has us, wanting to stay in the tried and the true, or even not the tried and true, but just things that we're familiar with, things that we're comfortable with. Even if we don't like it, even if we don't want it, we're going to find that we have a tendency to go back to old patterns, to go back to old habits. And because it's because we want to keep things as the status quo. We want to keep things familiar and safe and comfortable. And yet, Spirit is saying here, we have to step out of our comfort zone. And we're just going to have a really hard time doing that. So, being aware of that energy, being aware that we really like the old familiar things. We're going to even find that in our wardrobe. We're going to go for the more comfortable, the more cozy. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there's a sense here of like, I just want to wrap myself in the old and the familiar. So, being aware of that is going to be very important because we can get very upset emotionally, spiritually, when things are pushing us out of our comfort. So surrender to the divine. We're going to find that as we move to the new moon, we are becoming more comfortable in surrendering, of not having all the answers. And we're going to also be comfortable in embracing patience for ourselves and saying, okay, the way that things move forward are going to be different than what I had expected. As the doors open, I have to be patient with myself to see how I walk forward, how I move forward, what I need, what I desire for myself. And we need to believe in the impossible. And as we believe in the impossible, we're going to see ourselves coming to a realization, which we aren't right now, that we are the key. With ourselves kind of out of balance with ourselves, we're not realizing, I hold the answers. I am the key. I am moving forward. It is my mind, my passion, my power. I'm not talking about horrific situations, things that are beyond imagining. Those things really do hold us back. And those things really can be a lifetime challenge to be able to overcome. What Spirit is talking about here is the fact that so many of us, we don't see ourselves. We don't believe in ourselves. We think everybody has worth but us. And this is the time where we need to believe in the impossible. And we need to believe that we can change our world. Because by changing our world, we change the world for us. It moves us to bringing love into the situation. It's very important for us to bring our hearts, for us to say, this is what I love, this is what I desire. We're not going to be good at it 110% of the time, or even 100% of the time. But bringing love forward and saying love matters, that heals. It brings us to a win-win situation, which is us coming forward. This is the full moon in Libra. This is us illuminating us. But it also brings a lot of fear. If I step into the essence of me, as I'm embracing my prosperity, as I'm embracing, my bounty in this world, and things go wrong, it's a direct reflection of me. And Spirit's saying, no, it's not. Spirit is saying that there are challenges in this road and in this life that even when you are perceived as perfect, perceived as having absolutely everything or doing everything right, there are times when darkness will come over. There are times when doubt and fear will take over. And these are times that are shown as being purely human. Do not let fear hold you back, keep you locked away, keep you from moving forward in the blessing that Spirit has to open up the next level, to open up the door, because the door is opening. And it brings us to the fact that, yes, emotions are running high, and there is a lot of change within this moon. Do we want emotions to be running high? No, we don't. We're not comfortable with this. But as we're embracing our blessing, as we're embracing the way that we're moving forward, we need to understand that emotions are running high. And this moon brings with it a lot of change. It brings with it a lot of power. It brings with it a lot of new insights. And so it's like we're just going to be thrown out of our comfort zone, which of course we're not comfortable with. You are good enough. When we're looking at things, and especially when we're looking at the things that have fallen apart, things that haven't gone right, when we say to ourselves, we are good enough, we're not going to believe it. We're going to think, well, if I was good enough, then XYZ wouldn't have happened. Life, and especially in a Cancer sun, in a Cancer moon, we see that life is about painful transformation. It is about painful growth. And it sounds so incongruous with a sign that people always say, oh, it's mothering energy, it's earth mother energy, it's loving, compassionate, healing energy. We don't think of pain. But what is birth but pain? And so here, when we see ourselves moving forward, knowing that the hardships, knowing the times that we want to scream, that we are just completely overwhelmed, that's part of our growth. We're not finding peace within it. But once we see that, there's going to be a certain amount of peace to us, a certain amount of healing to us that opens up our world. And it brings us then to our hard work paying off, even though we don't feel that way. We feel like now I'm facing, with the Five of Swords, now I'm facing battles I have faced before, hardships that I have faced before, and it's just the same thing, different day. It's not. We ourselves are changing. We need to remember to nourish our soul, our spirit. We need to remember to nourish ourselves as the blockages are being released and as we are being empowered. This is a very empowering moon, but it comes at things so differently than the way that we think it should, that it can absolutely throw us off our game. It brings us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of. This is the Eight of Pentacles. We can want to just have everything be so structured, want to just fall into rules and regulations, and this is the way it's supposed to be. And also just throw ourselves into work where it's like, nope, I don't have any time to think of anything else. And that can be the way that we escape, but we won't learn. So just be aware of that. We can also be very detail oriented, very nitpicky. Our loved ones will even say to us, like, stop being so literal about things or stop being so nitpicky. Just enjoy. So just remember this. Our subconscious spirit message here is family reversed. We need to connect with family, what we love as much as family. We need to connect with, with what we love. Whether it be the family we were born into, the family we've created, we need to connect with that love and feel a part of something more. Because that's also what Cancer energy is all about. It brings us to our subconscious tarot message, which is the Nine of Wands. We feel battered and bruised. We're listening to too many opinions, and we're not listening to our own. We've been through too many battles, and it just feels like the fighting is never going to end. The fighting ends when we say enough. I'm choosing love over anger or over hate. I'm choosing me over trying to be everything to everybody else. And I'm standing in my power and in myself. It moves us to our subconscious Luna message, which is gratitude, which is so important. And the energy is gaining momentum. To be in gratitude, to be connected with what we love, and to say thank you. That's a very powerful thing. The energy is gaining momentum as we connect with our ancestors, as we connect with our, it can be our DNA ancestors. We might not know our DNA ancestors. It can be the ancestors, our karmic ancestors. It can be our family or whomever raised us ancestors. It can be a myriad of things or what we feel the most drawn to and the history from there. I'm seeing this as a line. I'm seeing this as it's seeing our face, but it's seeing our face as a child, as, as an adult, and as the wisdom, as the wisdom. And there is a sense of deep respect and deep gratitude that needs to be brought forward for us, but also needs to be brought forward for our world. Because we tend to really respect youth, even though youth is so foolish. We tend to really respect, bouts of might equals right, but we're not respecting the wisdom. And so we need to respect the wisdom. The energy is gaining momentum. The energy of respecting wisdom, of respecting years is going to be very important for ourselves personally and for our line and for our existence and for us embracing our power. All right, Libra. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power, intensity, and beauty of this new moon and of ourselves. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Libra. May blessings and prosperity always be with you. I love you all. God bless, and have a blessed moon. Bye.